In this Overnight Edge, we're going to be discussing how to remove IRS penalties. Maybe you arrived on this page because you're searching for a way to get that penalty abated or get that penalty removed that you received on a recent IRS notice. We're going to show you how to do that. But before we get to the abatements, let's look at how the IRS applies the payments that you send to them. This is very important because if you don't have penalties to abate, because you've already paid them, it's a little bit harder to get those penalty abated. It's harder to get it refunded than get written right off the top. The IRS applies payments in the following manner. Very important to understand, particularly if you're a professional and you're helping people with their tax debt. They start with the oldest tax year. So let's say you owe taxes for 2020, 21, 22, 23. And so how you send in a check, if you don't specify where that payment's going, they're going to apply it to 2020. That's the oldest tax year. Apply it to the tax first. Then they're going to apply it to the penalties that are outstanding. Then finally, they're going to apply it to the interest for that tax year. They won't start applying it to the next tax year until all these are paid. Your tax, penalties, and interest are all paid up. Then they're going to repeat for the next oldest year. Very important to understand that, because when you send in a payment, you can specify the tax and the year that that payment can be applied to. You can say, I'm applying it to the tax, not the penalty and interest, for year 2020, 2021, 2022, etc. That way you leave the penalties and the interest kind of dangling out there, and you can try to get those abated, well, the penalties abated. Penalty abatement. All right. It's a reduction or removal of penalties. You're going to hear me say this several times. You don't ask for an abatement. Guess what? You don't get an abatement. It's very important to at least ask, get denied, at least try to get those penalties abated. Penalties can be abated. However, interest cannot generally be abated. It's very important to recognize that, because what I said earlier, remember, first you pay the tax, then the penalties, then the interest. That interest will keep accumulating on those penalties. Once you go to the next year, that interest will keep added up. You got to be aware of that, because it's going to keep adding up. However, if you get the penalties abated, generally the interest related to that specific penalty will also be removed. So you're getting both removed at the same time. However, if you don't get it abated, that interest, as I said, keeps accumulating until you pay it. There are several types of abatements. There are the first type of abatement. These are the ones we've been discussing in this video. You got your reasonable cause abatement, you got statutory exception, and you got your administrative waiver, which I call administrative prudence. Those are your basic types of abatements. You can do these by phone. Well, primarily a first-time abatement's pretty easy by phone. The other ones you're probably going to want to use Form 843, which you generally need to mail in. You could probably fax it. Right now, you can't apply for this online. So you're going to take the time, fill the form out, send it out. First-time abatement. This here is the most common form of abatement. It's pretty easy to get. You'd be surprised how many folks don't ask for this abatement because they don't know it's there. That's why you're watching this video. Now you are fully armed, and you can probably get this abatement if you qualify. It's the easiest, but it is the easiest to qualify. Basically, you're saying, hey, IRS, I'm a good tax citizen, but I just made an innocent mistake. It's very rare that I make such a mistake, so please abate my penalty. Oftentimes, they will. Generally, it's used for failure to file, failure to pay penalties. This includes your taxes, your income taxes. It can also include payroll taxes if you otherwise qualify. I've seen it for late filing of certain business returns. I've seen it for nonprofit returns. We've got it for late filing those before for different clients. So you can get this. Now, in order to get it, of course, you have to qualify. You have all returns are filed by the due date. So all returns are, well, not by the due date necessarily, but all returns due are filed. You don't have any that are past the due date that are dangling out there. You're not a good citizen if you do that. So you're not going to qualify. All taxes have been paid, or you have an installment agreement for those taxes due. And this is most important. You haven't had any penalties due for the 3 years prior to the penalty year. That's what makes it the first time. It's not like you've never had it. It just means in the past 3 years, you haven't had any penalties. Call and ask for this abatement. Don't worry about the 843. You can do that, but easiest to call and ask. You want to call and ask after the tax is paid is generally most effective. Again, don't ask, don't get. Try this one first. Let's go to reasonable cause. All right, reasonable cause is not super reasonable. It's much more difficult than first-time abatement. It's going to require proof. You're going to have to wait around. Basically, you're saying there's unforeseen circumstances beyond your control that caused the penalty or caused you not to be able to file that tax return or pay that tax due. You need to file Form 843. You need to include documentation. That's the easiest way to file. Here's a few examples: natural disaster, fire, flood, tornado, hurricane. Your house got destroyed. If your house got destroyed in a hurricane, presidential declared disaster area, guess what? It's going to make it hard to file that tax return. So that's going to be, a lot of times that's pretty easy under those circumstances. Otherwise, it's not. Civil unrest is another example. You're caught in a riot. The rioters burn down your house. Boom. It's like a natural disaster. So it's kind of getting a theme here. It's kind of like natural disaster oriented. Also, medical issues, long-term hospitalization. If you were in a coma, hey, could you file that tax return? No. Reasonable cause. Incapacitated, maybe you were helping out a family member, your mom or your dad's ill, and you became the primary caregiver and you couldn't be home during that period, or taxes just weren't upmost on your mind because you're dealing with a sick parent. Possibly a reason for reasonable cause. Unavoidable absence for another reason could also be a reasonable cause. All right, let's move forward to statutory exception abatement. This one here is super tough, but let's discuss it. Basically, this means you relied on written advice from the IRS. This is not like you were looking at a publication that doesn't have statutory authority. Publications don't count. It's not like, oh, your publication said this, this, and this, and this, and I created a penalty because I followed it. It's your fault, IRS. That doesn't fly. Basically, here's what it is. You requested written advice from the IRS. You received said advice, and you followed advice, and it caused a penalty. How often is that going to happen? All right. If it did happen, file Form 843, and I wish you good luck in getting the statutory exception. I don't see these very often. If you're lucky enough to get it, let me know. I'd like to hear about it. All right, here's administrative prudence abatement. It's also technically called administrative waiver. I like prudence because basically what you're saying is, well, don't ask, don't get. I've used this before, and you're rolling dice, but I've had it work. All right, penalty is clearly wrong. You know it's wrong. The IRS knows it's wrong, but you can't fit it easily into that box. You kind of know when you see it. This penalty is just not fair under the facts and circumstances, but maybe I don't qualify for one-time abatement. It wasn't a disaster area, but still, whoever you're talking to knows this penalty is just not right. You should remove it. Sometimes you talk to the right person on the right day when they're in the right mood, and you can get administrative waiver, or what I call administrative prudence. I've seen it. I've saved folks a ton of money with it. However, it doesn't work all the time. But basically, you're using this when first-time abatement doesn't work, reasonable cause doesn't quite fit in there, but they should get a waiver. It's just the right thing to do. All right, let's close this out with a few notes and tips. All right. Generally, it's based after you pay the tax, and only the penalty, interest are left. If you pay the penalty, it's a little harder to get. It's a little harder to get that abatement. Also, because you've already paid it, you're asking for a refund. You jump through another hoop. You may lose. It also, if you pay the penalty, you may lose the appeal right, and that is through a collection due process hearing for reasonable cause. If you pay the penalty, you're basically saying, "Hey, I know this is wrong. I paid it." You may lose that right. For most of you watching, you're not professionals. That's kind of important. All right. Also, when you're calling, be honest. Don't make up a story. Be honest. But craft a good yet true story. You take that honest, true story and you add some feelings to it when you're talking to the IRS, whoever that is. But don't make things up. You want to have it best life for you, but do this especially for reasonable cause. Reasonable cause penalties, it says, difficult to get. However, if you have a very nice hook on that, leader, you might get it. This is also where professional help can come into play. You want to show you're a good tax citizen. Very important. You're not out to get anything for free. You're just trying to get fairness. Be aware of the statute of limitations, which we just discussed in another Overnight Edge. You can check that out. Generally, you need to ask. This is very important. This is very confusing too. Generally, you need to ask within the later of 3 years the return was filed or 2 years of the penalty being paid. So it's within the later of 3 years of return was filed or 2 years of the penalty being paid. All right. And do you owe back taxes? What I just discussed with you came from our course on overnightaccountant.com called Dealing with Tax Debt. I created that course because I used to have many, many clients come in. I'd charge them $75. I'd say, hey, what's going on with your situation? 90% of the time, I could send them home with some instructions and they can take care of their own tax debt. It was amazing. So we created a course on this on overnightaccountant.com. Check it out. I think you'll like it. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave it below. We'd love to hear from you. I mean, maybe you have an idea for an edge. Well, maybe we'll attach your name to that edge and you'll become famous. All right. Check out our playlist for more tax and business tips. And if you want to dig deep, check out our course offers from overnightaccountant.com. Thank you so much.